Hi, I'm Evan Glikos, and this is my final presentation on HPV. So to start off, what can HPV lead to? So HPV is a very prevalent disease across the U.S., and most people are able to fight it off, but there is a large percentage of people who cannot. So these people tend to develop genital warts in that region of their body, but those are not life-threatening. But there is a very large percentage of HPV recipients that make up a population of people who have contracted cervical and penile cancers, and that is shown on the right in this chart. It shows the amount of cancers that are developed by female and male HPV contractants. The epidemiology of HPV. So there's about 20 million people in the U.S. currently infected by HPV, and with 6.2 million new cases per year, that number will obviously continue to rise. And the CDC claims that over half, or at least half, of sexually active people will contract HPV in their lifetime. The graph on the right kind of shows how many people will have it, and women tend to be, as you can see, women tend to be a lot higher than men. The mortality rate of HPV is very high unless you develop cancer. In this case, it's about 3,700 out of 10,000 women, so about 37%. And by the age of 50, 80% of all women will have had HPV at some point in their lifetime. So what are the infectious agents and virulence of this disease? So this disease tends to attack the epithelium tissue of the body, and basically it breaks down the basal layer of that epithelium so that the infectious agents can enter. And this kind of is shown like this process on the right. So it breaks down that top layer of skin, leaving more space for these little infectious agents to get into the body. And on top of it being sexually transmitted, this is also kind of ups the level of infectiousness that this disease has. So what are the signs and symptoms of HPV? So for most people, there are really no signs of HPV, which is pretty scary, and most people will contract it and fight it off before they even know they have it with their immune systems. And sometimes it just becomes evident months or years after contraction, and you can see them. You'll have either warts or you'll show up on a cancer screening that'll show back abnormal, and you will be diagnosed with some form of cancer caused by HPV. But yeah, most people will tend to fight it off. So what is the medical treatment of HPV? So obviously the warts can be treated by medication and antibiotics prescribed by your doctor. The cancers can be treated early enough. Cancers can be treated if they are found early enough by your doctors, and it is the same for the other types of cancer as well. And as long as you find it early enough, you should be able to fully recover. So what type of medical complications does HPV hold? So they're pretty minimal. You may develop lesions in your upper respiratory system, and the other possibilities include developing cancer in other areas of your body based on that first cancer that you get diagnosed with from HPV. But other than that, those are like just the two main things that tend to occur. So the history of the vaccine. The vaccine was released June 8th, 2006. It went through multiple trials of testing, and they tested thousands of women across the U.S. And with these tests, they were able to confirm that the vaccine was 100% successful with the seroconversion rate. And this is like how the virus is, the level of the virus in your blood, and with the vaccine, the virus went from in the blood, and then after you take the vaccine, there was no virus found in the blood. So that means that the seroconversion worked with this vaccine, meaning that it is 100% effective. Alright, so the vaccine has been proven to be 100% effective in preventing cancers caused by HPV. The vaccine is composed of a virus-like substance that elicits the immune system to create antibodies for when the HPV comes into the body. Once vaccinated, you are 100% safe from HPV. So, what are the positive and negative aspects of this vaccine? The impacts on society from this vaccine are mostly positive, although there are some negatives to the vaccine, such as cost or side effects. Overall, it is a very good vaccine for society. A very large population of people have this disease, so the vaccine only moves the world in the right direction. HPV accounts for a very high percentage of cancers in the cervix and other parts of the body. So if this vaccine can completely eradicate that, it's very beneficial. So in the world right now, there are some contradictions to the HPV vaccine. First, the supporters are obviously the National Cancer Institute and the CDC. But countries like Japan have decided to drop the vaccine because they question its ability to prevent cancer, and other countries are following suit as well. There have been reports of autoimmune illnesses and premature menopause caused by this vaccine, and most people who see the cons of this vaccine recognize that there has been no long-term studying of the vaccine yet, which would lead people to question the vaccine's safety in the future. The recommended ages to get vaccinated are very solid ages that you should probably follow. Based on the fact that most people will have HPV in their life, it is the best option to make sure that you vaccinate your child so that they can stay safe from this disease. And obviously, they've just come out with an adult level vaccine, so you don't have to take it when you're a child. So for people who are anti-vaxxers and don't want to vaccinate their child, if the child actually wants to be vaccinated on their 18th birthday, they can. And do I think this is the right decision to go at the recommended times? Yeah, I do, because it will give you that 100% coverage that the CDC claims the vaccine has, and I trust the CDC. They study this stuff in depth, and I think that they do a good job at it. And this is my bibliography.